everybody. Welcome. This is episode 96. We're here with Jason from Concealment Solutions.
Yes.
And Mike.
A.K.A. Taco.
Yeah. And I'm Gene Tessier. So, welcome.
You didn't announce the podcast.
Oh,
Nobody knows what they're listening to.
Well, if they'll look at their phone, at the very top, it'll say the Concealed Taco Dudes podcast.
And it should have a picture of a pickle with a fine mustache and a sombrero.
Is it a pickle?
No, it's a cactus.
I guess his complexion would be a little worse if it was a pickle.
Yeah, he'd be.
I don't know.
Cactus is, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it could be either one. It could be a pickled cactus.
He's our racist.
Can you pickle cactus?
Pickle.
You can pickle anything.
Pickle anything.
If you can pickle pig's feet, you can pickle anything.
Oh, my grandpa loved pickled pig's feet.
That sounds so gross to me.
Yeah.
They're an acquired taste. I haven't quite acquired it yet, but I do like pickled eggs.
Ooh, that sounds like another one of those things that would be tough to.
The secret is you get the ones that are pickled with jalapenos.
Okay.
And those things will knock your socks off.
If you add a little bit of spice, it kind of
makes
helps
everything better.
Yeah, it does.
And you use those for deviled eggs. They're amazing.
Huh. I've never had a pickled egg
Pickled
before.
deviled eggs?
Uh-huh.
Whoa.
They're mind-blowing.
It's not a pickled deviled egg. It's a pickled egg that you devil.
Ooh.
There's a difference.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's knock out some sponsors. We are in the NOE studios. That's why it sounds good.
I picked up my NOE order just 2 minutes ago.
Oh, as you were walking in.
As I was walking in, I'm like, oh, they got the parts. Sweet.
Nice.
So I just got some sizing bushings and a push-through rod.
Okay.
So
Very cool.
And Gene, you said you were here earlier this week.
Yeah, so I picked up a gun to work on, but about a week before that, I actually picked up a big armful of molds.
Wow.
What'd you get?
So I got a 32 gang mold for 32 Smith & Wesson.
Okay.
It's got the pins, so you can do flat nose, the little cup nose, and then the hollow points. Really exciting. I'm really
Yes.
excited to use that one. I got 2 wad cutter molds for the 44 and the 45, just because why not? And and then I got
Okay, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Wad cutters are always fun to make. They're
They
the
are.
weirdest looking bullets, but they make the cleanest round holes in the paper if you're shooting paper.
Very true.
And I use wad cutters an awful lot in my 38s. And I thought, you know what? I shoot the 44 and the 45 more than the 38s. I need wad cutters for those.
Now, did you get like the full wad cutters, or did you get?
I believe they're full.
Okay.
I think they're full wad cutters.
Yeah, the other thing that's interesting about wad cutters is the bullet. Like almost all of the bullet sits inside the case.
Oh.
And so you'll like take a loaded round that you think might be an empty, but then it's heavy on the one side,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, there's a bullet in there.
So it almost looks like those Nagant revolver rounds.
Kind of.
It's kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Except,
Interesting.
I mean, the
didn't know
Nagant
that.
ones sit beneath.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because the mouth of those is actually crimped over
Yeah,
on the actual cartridge.
Okay, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Okay.
But for one of my guns, so I picked up a Smith & Wesson Mark II that was originally in 455 Webley. This was a very small run that they did for the Brits back in 1917, 1918. And I've got one of those.
Is that a break action revolver?
No, it's a big, huge end frame.
Okay.
6-inch barrel.
Yeah.
It's a big gun.
Uh-huh.
But it's
Gene,
just a...
I'm upset. You didn't bring it for show and tell. I'm trying to picture this in my mind.
I should have. I'll bring it next time.
Okay, you should.
It's absolutely a beautiful gun. If they hadn't converted it to 45 Colt, it'd be worth a mint. It's
So yours
beautiful.
is converted to 45 Colt.
It's converted to 45 Colt, which is, the cylinder isn't quite long enough for proper bullets. Like, it's just long enough for the normal cowboy type loads.
Yeah.
But I thought the wad cutter, that's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be absolutely perfect. And I'm probably going to get some 45 cowboy special brass.
Okay.
So
and then you
it's
can use
shorter.
the bigger bullets.
And then I can use the bigger bullets and everything and
Yeah.
have, because the capacity is excessive on the Colt case anyway.
Oh, yeah. It seems like all those revolver cases are, the capacity is like excessive.
Yeah.
Except maybe 44 mag, where you can really load those up.
Yeah.
But 357, 38, seems like those are all, there's so much airspace in them. You can like shake the powder and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why the wad cutters are really good for target shooting, is because they sit below like the mouth of the case, and so that helps reduce some of that airspace.
Yeah,
So you get
little-
more consistency with the velocities.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they tend to shoot extremely well.
I did not know that.
Okay, so I have another question. So it's not a break action; it's
Nope.
just a big end frame. You said
Yeah. So it looks
5 shot, 6 shot,
6 shot.
6 shot.
Yeah. It's got
and
the
single
moon,
action
the half
or double.
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 So it's got the half moon front sight, the very rounded front sight, fixed rear sight, lanyard loop.
Wow.
The grips aren't original, but they're period correct.
Like the barrel.
6 inches.
Okay, I
And
love
it's-
revolvers with like
and
at
it's-
least 6 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculously thin. Like, it is such a thin barrel,
Huh.
but it is such a pretty gun. I came across it down in St. George. St. George?
Huh.
No, not St. George. What's the other?
Was it Cedar
Moab.
City?
Moab. There's this tiny little gun shop in Moab. That I had to like look hard to find it. And this guy, we got to chat, and he's like, "You collect Smith and Wessons? If it's the right one, I do." And he said, "Let me go get this one." I was like, "Yep, that's the right one. I'll take it."
How much damage was it?
I think
the
it was
wallet?
right about 900,
Okay. So that's
which was a fair price considering the conversion.
And if it wasn't converted, what would it be worth?
At least 2.
Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's like too rich for me for nostalgia. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. It's a pretty gun though.
that's cool.
Yeah, you got to bring it next time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Now, I will say you mentioned the thin barrel.
Uh huh.
I have a Dan Wesson 357 Magnum revolver, and it came with 2 barrels.
Oh yeah.
And so I can swap the barrels out and everything. And I was surprised how thin those barrels are.
They are. They're very thin because it's a multi-piece barrel. You've got the barrel, then
and
you've
then
got
it has
the shroud,
that shroud. Yeah.
and then you've got the nut that keeps everything together. And but they tend to be very accurate.
It shoots really well.
And-
but when I first took it apart to swap barrels, I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" Like, they really chinched on this barrel
Yeah.
because it's really thin.
Oh yeah.
But
Well, and the new Smith & Wessons, there's been a few of those that have been a multi-piece barrel setup like that.
yeah,
I forget which models they were, but they work well.
yeah, it's quite interesting because you're used to these revolvers having like a one piece, like a
Right.
Ruger type,
Uh-huh.
big fat barrel,
Heavy barrel, yeah.
Yeah, and then you get this little skinny thing, and you're like, how can that work? Like, how can that work well? At
Yeah.
least, yeah,
Yeah.
anyways.
Very
They-
cool.
They work well enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever want to just try out like lots of different bullets, you should come over. I have a plethora of bullet molds in 45.
Oh, nice.
So
He almost has more molds than NOE does.
That's impressive. and I have a lot of molds, but I'm sure Mike has a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
I have
By
quite
a
a few.
long shot.
Yeah.
But and then the 4th mold that I got
Ooh.
was a 500 caliber for this beautiful double rifle that I have here.
We're going to talk about that.
I thought that was a shotgun.
No, that's a double rifle.
And you were mentioning Gene was mentioning before the show that he was going to take an elk with it, and I'm like,
With a
you're going to
shotgun?
shoot a slug, or like what
So-
is the deal?
So let's save that
Okay,
for what we did with guns.
we can do that.
Because
We're still in the sponsor section.
We haven't got past our first sponsor
Oh,
yet.
yeah.
Which
NOE.
is NOE Bullet Molds. Use the code FLT001 to save 10%. Let's move on.
Okay.
Black Ice Coatings, the finest gun finishes around. Now, if you follow Black Ice on Instagram, he posted a video which was super awesome. It's a video from inside the dip tank. So they put a camera under the water, and then you can watch him dipping my bike frame. in Day of the Dead sugar skull pattern, which I think is absolutely awesome, and I can't wait to get that.
And-
I also picked up, I went there yesterday. He had some of the parts done for me for the bike. He Teflon coated the chain rings and some other parts. I was thinking he had most of it done, so I was a little let down when I didn't see any sugar skulls on anything. But that's okay. I'm being patient. He finished that 300 blackout pistol. It's all Teflon inside and gray Cerakote on the outside. Looks fantastic.
Very cool.
Got to get that put together.
They do beautiful work, great
They do.
finishes.
Yeah, you use them for stuff
I use
too.
them very frequently.
Yeah.
What do you usually use them?
Typically the Teflon.
The Teflon?
So if somebody is in an environment,
Like
where
hunting
they're
guns or...
hunting guns, if they're close to the coast, one of the first guns we ever had, black iced, was a Winchester 88 lever gun, and the guy wanted
Wow.
it Cerakoted, and I said, no, let's do the Teflon. He's on the coast of Alaska.
Oh,
He's up
yeah.
on
Yeah.
Typically where you'd see a stainless steel.
stainless steel and oiled every day.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And last time I talked to him, this is a couple years after we had done that gun. He said it's still holding up great, no signs of rust. It's really doing well. So, if you're looking for a good finish, that Teflon coating is wonderful.
Yeah, it holds
And it
up
looks good.
really well. It looks, yeah, it's kind of the best of all the worlds. It
Yeah.
looks good. It cleans easy. It has a fantastic lubricating quality to it.
Yeah, you put a little bit of oil on there, and it becomes slicker than snot.
Yep.
It is
It's true.
wonderful.
Yeah.
I actually had him do one of my favorite personal rifles,
Yeah.
my Kimber 325 short mag,
Ooh.
and it's the sexiest rifle I own. Before it was just a stainless and black rifle. Now, it looks good.
Black Beauty.
Her name's Katie.
Oh, sorry.
She now has a name.
I didn't mean to offend.
Nuts.
Which, speaking of names, I mentioned last week that the bike is being christened with a new name,
Oh, nice.
Rocinante.
Rocinante?
Rocinante, Rocinante, Spanish, and I put it out there to see if anybody knew the reference where that name came from.
We had multiple responses,
Oh, okay,
listener feedback, but I didn't bring it. Sorry.
that's okay. I will fill you in, and then next week we'll see what people were saying. Rocinante was Don Quixote's horse. If you've read Don Quixote or you're familiar
Okay.
with the story, so Don Quixote, crazy Don, which is kind of like a duke or something like that, lower level royalty, but he was a crazy old dude that ran around on this worn out horse with his sidekick Sancho Panza, which is what I really wanted to name Henry, but my family wouldn't let me name him Sancho.
Henry fits him.
Yeah.
So they chose wisely.
But so in doing some research and trying to find a graphic to print and put on the bike for the name, I found a definition of Rocinante, which after I read that, I'm like, that is absolutely perfect. So Rocinante is not just Don Quixote's horse, but very much is also Don Quixote. They're like parallel characters
Okay.
because they're both past their prime, a bit awkward, and attempting things that are beyond their capabilities. And I went, that is the perfect name for a single-speed mountain bike for an old man. Anyway, check out Black Ice Coatings. Watch the video. You can see him dipping this bike frame, which I am amazed. I've seen bikes that he's done before. That's why I decided I was going to do it. I'm amazed at how he can dip something that has so many complicated angles
And it looks good.
and it doesn't like stretch the pattern or elongate or do any weird things. It's baffling to me that how he can do that.
It's an art.
It really is. And
I
people
couldn't
don't
do it,
understand
but
it.
he has it down to an absolute art and the science.
Yeah.
And beautiful work.
Check out Black Ice Coatings at blackicecoatings.com. Call up Lee, and when he answers, just say Slickery. Utah Air Guns. UtahAirGuns.com. I haven't been there I guess I was there a couple weeks ago, briefly. But finest air guns out there. Their Rocky Mountain Air Gun competition. I can't remember what it's called. Utah, or it's Rocky Mountain Air Gun something.
Challenge?
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Rocky Mountain Air Gun Challenge is it this month?
I think so.
Oh, we gotta find out the date so we can go.
It might be happening right now.
It's not.
No.
Don't say that.
No, it's not happening yet. I think it's middle of the month, maybe a little later.
But if you're skeptical about air guns still after hearing us blather on about them constantly, just to put it into perspective, this air gun match attracts people from all over the world. Like literally every continent has people registered and are flying to Utah to shoot their air guns.
And these aren't Red Riders. These are
Yeah.
serious air guns.
Yeah. I mean, they're on par with what they're using in the biathlon in the Olympics and stuff like that. A lot of the Olympic shooting stuff that they still allow.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
typically air guns now, which I found a little disappointing when that first started happening. Now that I own them and shoot them, I'm like, all right, I'm okay with that. That's pretty cool. But check out Utah Air Guns at utahairguns.com. Use the code AIRCANDY. You get free shipping and some turret stickers for your scope.
So, I will say,
Okay?
I did go to Utah Air Guns.
Yeah?
And I was looking at a couple different guns.
course.
You know how I like to
Yeah.
peruse the
Keep
wares.
your options open.
Yeah. So they always treat me good down there.
Yeah.
And
They treat everyone good.
they do treat everyone really well.
They're awesome.
They are. Best customer service.
They really do have good service.
But I was looking at, maybe getting a different 177
Oh, yeah.
air gun.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I can pawn my...
Do you have are any of your air guns 177 or are they all 22?
It's just that one, the Hotson Flash with the wood
Oh,
stock.
that's right.
Yeah. And I like it, but I don't know. I have these high-end
Your
ones.
crown has spoiled
It
you.
has,
and you
it
need
has.
The accuracy.
It's ruined me. And now I'll tell you about something with what we do with guns.
Okay.
But I did go down there and I was looking at the ones made in the Czech Republic, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's Air Max.
Air Max, right. They're the ones that do the Cayman, that little
Yes.
bullpup, which is super sweet.
Yeah.
I
they
was
have.
looking at that one.
I know. Those are cool.
But you know which one I think I like better?
What?
The Catran.
Okay.
So
How is it different?
it's sweet. It's not a
Is it-
bullpup.
It's a regular rifle configuration?
Yes, it has a folding stock
Ooh, that's cool.
and an adjustable cheek riser.
Okay.
And it also, you can get it with a tube or a tank.
Okay, that's cool.
And let's
So
see
you have
what else.
options for more air capacity if you want it.
Yes. And I believe it's ambidextrous, but
Probably because the Cayman
Yeah,
is,
the
and that
Cayman
was
is.
why I was looking at it.
But one of the coolest features is that the magazine sits below instead of above.
So it's that.
So you know
not up
how
in
all
your
the
face.
all the other magazine fed air guns, the
Uh-huh.
magazine goes up,
Uh-huh.
and it kind of affects how low you can mount the scope because the scope
Ooh, yeah.
body hits the magazine.
That is true.
And so you have to get these like extra high rings and stuff.
Uh-huh.
That was one of the things that I liked about the Crown is with the scope I had, I could mount it a little bit lower.
Okay.
But with this Catran, the magazine goes down instead of up.
Huh.
And so you can mount a scope pretty low, I believe.
Okay.
So I'm
And-
seriously eyeballing the 177s.
What does the Catran go for?
A little over $1,000.
Okay.
So
So I know like that
It's-
Cayman I think was around 11 or 12.
yeah, and
so
I
it's
think
probably
the
in that
Catran is
ballpark
about $100 less or somewhere
Huh.
a little bit less than
than the Cayman.
the Cayman. But it has some really good features and
Yeah,
it looks
sounds
really
like it.
nice, feels good. So
How long's the barrel?
you can get two different configurations, but
Okay.
I was thinking I would get the shorter one with the 177. I'm looking more for something that can, just shoot the little pellets.
Mm.
I'm not looking for like the highest velocity that I can get out of them.
Right. Yeah.
I just want it to be accurate.
Right.
Super accurate.
Right.
I don't know if it'll be as accurate as my Crown, but I told them to call me when they get them in, and I want to test fire one.
Aren't you in the red on your count for the year?
I broke even. Well,
Oh, you sold
when I
some?
say I broke even, I'm still net 6. So that's like where I need to be.
Okay.
So I sold my little, what's the pistol? Little
The Diana?
Yeah, the Diana.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Diana Bandit.
Why would you sell that?
Because I didn't shoot it very much.
Oh,
When I go grab an air gun,
mine got a major workout recently. We'll talk about that.
okay. So, anyways, UtahAirGuns.com. They make good, or they sell good stuff, and they have the best customer service.
They do. Mag holder, magholder.com. Horizontal mag carriers, ambidextrous horizontal mag carriers for the new design. That's what I use. I make my own mag carriers, and they're awesome. but they're not as awesome as the mag holder. So check them out at magholder.com. Use the code, show me the, no, that's mine. Use the code
Mag holder mama.
Magholder Mama, or get in the van, I have candy. And his discount's pretty generous. So go ahead and jump on there. There's new stuff coming. I know they've been working on, I get people that ask me all the time about what's available from Magholder and stuff like that, or what they're working on. The double stack 45 and 10 millimeter is in the works. But don't get too excited, because when I say that it's in the works, we're talking about a $7,000 to $10,000 mold that is highly precision made, and it's not something you just slap together.
Wow.
Yeah. So maybe next year. But I know it's on the radar. So anyway, check out Magholder at magholder.com and use one of those codes to save a bunch of money. Concealment Solutions at concealmentsolutions.com. So we are celebrating 10 years.
Rock on.
I know. It's kind of weird to say, but and that's like, as far as the tax man knows, we've been in business for 10 years. We have a little more experience than that, but we're celebrating 10 years with an open house on June 19th at the shop. So there will be social media posts and stuff like that with more information, but you want to come down to the shop on the 19th from between 9 and 1. I'll have a bunch of stuff on display so that you can check it out, try it out, whatever. Like the drop leg holster, I don't think people really appreciate how cool that design is until they've handled it and maybe put one on. Super awesome. You can see all the different colors and patterns and stuff that we can do. The chest harness, I've been told that first run will be ready this week. So at the very latest, I will have chest harnesses that will bolt right onto your Cobra holster, so that if you're out hunting or fishing or whatever, you want it up a little quicker access or out away from the brush, you can just pop the belt clips off your Cobra, bolt it onto the chest harness, and you're good to go. So those are coming. That's about all that I have. Use the code SHOWMETHECANDY and you'll get a pretty good discount, and I'll throw some swag in for you too. I've got lots of stickers and refrigerator magnets and whatnot that are either in hand or will be soon to give away at the open house. I'll also have a bunch of stuff on display from Black Ice. Lee will be out of town, so he won't be there, but I have several things, and hopefully a new single-speed mountain bike that will be on display so you can see his work, and I'll have his business card, so if you don't know Lee or want to see his stuff up close and personal, it'll be there too. Maybe a few other things, I don't know. I'm just kind of winging this thing.
Is Henry going to be there?
Henry is always there.
That's worth the trip right there.
It is. It really is. And he will be so happy to see you. Henry greets everybody like they're his long-lost best friend and just thinks you're the greatest person in the world just because you walked through the door.
He is seriously the best dog. I have 4 dogs, but I like Henry better than mine.
I was going to say, I have no dogs, and Henry was the dog that made me think, maybe I should think about getting a dog.
He has done that to more than one. I remember when I first got him, and Magholder Mark, was coming to the shop. Mark and I have been friends for a very long time. And I did not know this, but he was kind of predisposed to not like Henry because he looked like a pit bull. And in his mind, that was an aggressive dog. They have a bad reputation, da-da-da-da. And so Mark, whenever he would come in, and Mark's a dog guy too, he was very standoffish. Not that he was afraid of him, but he just kind of ignored him. Henry was having none of that. Henry is like, he is aggressively friendly. In his mind, it's like, you will be my friend, whether you like it or not. after coming to the shop 2 or 3 times, finally Mark's just stopped what he was doing because Henry was just like bumping his leg on attention. He started petting him and he's like, "There's just a good person in you, isn't there?" And I'm like, "Yep." And yeah, so Henry will break anybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all our sponsors. We're going to skip listener feedback till next week. Let's jump into what we did with guns. And let's start with Gene because we are all interested in what he is holding.
I know, it's show and tell, but for you guys, it's just tell.
It's just tell.
Yeah, you get to hear it open.
Oh, that's quite interesting.
So what we're looking at, folks, looks like an old school hammer-fired double-barreled shotgun, but that's not what it is.
Nope. So it is an underlever hammer-fired Joseph Lang and Son double rifle
Wow.
in 500 Black Powder Express.
Oh, dude. That just sounds like something I would shoot.
It does. I'm looking at that and go, why doesn't Taco have one of these?
I'm surprised nobody, everybody should have one of these.
It is absolutely gorgeous, too. The only wood on it is, so
the stock is wood. It's got back hammer or back action locks. It's got a removable forend. And it, like the fit and finish of this gun. So Joseph Lang and Son, they were a British best.
I was going to say, it's got to be British.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, everything is just very intricate in how it fits together. And
correct me if I'm wrong, but that looks to be a Damascus barrel.
yes, the barrels are Damascus.
Damascus. Good night.
That's
is
crazy.
Gorgeous. What is the manufacturer year of this gun?
About 1878.
Okay.
Oh,
So
yes.
this is a vintage black powder.
Yes, very old gun. Lockup is perfect. A little bit of case color left on the locks. Almost no finish left anywhere else. But it's just the finish.
The rifling
is
is still good,
Oh,
bright
it's
and shiny.
beautiful inside. The only thing is the finish is gone, but there's still a good amount of color on the Damascus.
Yeah.
It's really too pretty to be taken out and hunting, but
But you're gonna do it anyway.
I'm going to do it anyway.
And did you mention that it has engraving on?
Yeah, and so
It's very
got the,
intricate.
It's got that rose scroll engraving.
I'm gonna take pictures of this and I will post it on my social media so people
Yeah,
can see it.
absolutely.
People need to see this.
This is one of those
this is
guns
cool.
that people need to see.
Yeah.
Because it's from that time period when gun making was an art form.
Absolutely.
This is a work of art.
It is.
The engraving is pretty insane. Like,
Yeah, if you were to have a gun engraved this way and built to that level, it'd be half the cost of a house
Yeah.
in today's market. But
Yeah.
these guns are actually kind of a bargain when you can find them. They're I'm not going to say they're inexpensive, but they're less expensive than other double rifles.
Yeah. So what is something like this worth right now?
That one somewhere between 10 and 15,000.
oh,
Very
geez.
affordable.
Yeah, that sounds affordable to me.
Like I said, no, I won't say it's affordable. It's more affordable than the
If
others.
it had wheels and pedals, I could maybe see spending that much.
Yeah, it's worth more than my truck is. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
So one of the crazy things is that the screws, that hold stuff together.
Yeah, that's what screws do.
Yeah, they're engraved.
they're
Wow.
engraved and they're timed. So if
So,
you notice, they're in line with
On both sides.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
I mean, that's it.
So
That's
they
crazy.
were made to bottom out so that they all point in the same direction.
Yeah. So they're basically following the center line of whichever part they're on.
Yeah.
Now, just to clarify, I did not spend 10 grand on this gun. I looked at it a year ago.
We know, Gene.
Oh. Yeah, Gene doesn't pay full price for anything. I'm still paying 90s prices for gas.
It really is a thing of beauty.
And you don't really notice it till you hold it up close and you look at the engraving.
Oh, yeah.
How intricate the engraving is.
And just how tight it locks up and
Yeah, and then if you notice the sights, it's got platinum lines on the sights.
Oh, yes, it does.
You know, it's the little details on these that really
wow.
kind of set them apart.
So those little platinum lines really light up the sight.
Yeah.
That little line right up the middle.
And then that's the case. That's the cartridge. So the 500 Black Powder Express, it uses the same brass as the 500 Nitro Express.
Oh, I was gonna ask about that. That's
it's
crazy.
It's about the size of a large diameter short cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be like equivalent to like a 4570 with like an extra half inch.
Yeah.
Something about
And then
that.
bigger in diameter.
Yeah. The case looks like there's a taper in the case.
Yep, very slight caper. And then the rim is very thin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is very thin.
Yeah, it's about half the thickness of a 50/70.
This seems like if you dropped it on concrete, you could bend the rim.
Probably.
Let's try it.
No, that's not.
How much did this piece of brass cost you?
Dixie Gunworks. I bought 40 of them for $120 shipped. So right at $3 a piece.
Now, being a black powder,
And that's just the brass.
And that's just
so
the
people
brass.
I
understand.
was going to say, how many firings do you think you can get out of it being black powder? Black powder is like a low pressure.
Right.
Very low pressure. So I expect to shoot those until I'm dead, and hopefully leave those in a will to somebody else, and hopefully they get to shoot them for a long time as well.
Can I be in that, Will?
You're older than I am.
That doesn't mean
You're healthier though, so yeah, I'll put you in
Oh,
there.
that's debatable.
Yeah, you bike. I don't.
Yeah.
I used to, but I don't like the whole mountain biking thing.
Oh.
And if you're in Utah, it's all mountain biking.
Yeah, whether it's
Yeah.
paved or not.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question is, what bullet weight range does it fire?
So I believe it's somewhere between like 350 and 600.
So
I'm
quite a
still,
bit.
Yeah, you've
of
got
a
quite
range.
a range. And I'm still delving into that part.
What diameter of bullet?
It should be about a 512,
512?
which is pretty standard for most of the 50s.
So which mold did you get?
It's a big, huge, it looks like a Keith bullet. It's got a ridiculous flat point on it. Everybody that has seen that mold, they kind of have this little whimper and like an oh my gosh moment. It's a very respectable mold.
That's cool.
It gives me the giggles every time I look at it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to cast some bullets and get these loaded up and take it out and shoot it.
I have one that is that same style, but it's a hollow point.
Oh,
And I use that in my 50 Alaskan.
okay.
And I really want, since it's that diameter, I really want to throw one in a 50 BMG case with a gas jack and with a case full of like Trail Boss.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm like a little bit afraid of like trying it because that is a lot of Trail Boss.
Yeah.
But it should work.
Yeah, it should, at least once. I mean, you definitely want to do a video just in case it does like the guy from Kentucky.
Yeah, I was gonna say Kentucky Ballistics.
What happened with him?
He was shooting some really bad ammo, and one of them blew up his 50 BMG rifle, and it
And it was
almost killed him.
Was it a
Oh
Serbu?
my gosh.
Yeah,
It was a Serbu rifle.
it was the Serbu RN50.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, those are what are they? They're pressure tested up to. It takes a lot to blow one up.
Well, I would
They're a
think
well-built
any,
gun.
any 50 would be.
Yeah, it
there's
was-
some that are kind of sketchy, but that one is
Yeah,
a
that
very
one
well-built
is
gun.
well built and well designed. I mean, it's kind of a pain because you have to screw the what is that? It's like the bolt cap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The breach?
yeah, you have to screw that
kinda,
in.
yeah.
And so it's like a threaded breach.
Okay.
So
But-
ridiculously strong.
Really
Yeah,
strong.
I would think
You know,
so.
there's some that I've seen that I don't like shooting,
Yeah.
just because they're not as safe. But that one is a very safe design, a very
Yeah,
good design.
Some of the ones that are like built to sit on top of like an AR-15 lower,
Oh,
those are the ones that you're like,
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
shoot those.
yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, okay.
But anyways, it blew up the gun and the bolt came back and it went through part of his chest, through his neck, partially tore or cut his jugular,
Oh my gosh.
and also crushed some piece came back and hit him in the face.
Yeah.
If he hadn't,
I think it was the cap that came
The
back
cap.
and hit him in the face.
if he hadn't been wearing the eye protection, then he probably would have lost his eye for sure.
Wow.
But it like broke his, what's that bone right there? The cheekbone.
Yeah.
Just, anyways, totally messed the guy up.
Wow.
Ruined date night for him that night.
I bet.
He actually stuck his thumb inside the cut in his neck to put pressure on the jugular so he didn't bleed out.
Yeah.
Saved his life.
Did
But,
it himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
did it
Wow.
himself while his dad drove him to the hospital.
Wow.
But
Yeah. And that brings up two very important things: know your ammo and know some first aid,
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
might need it.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, and
That's
he was
crazy.
like a retired some type of law enforcement. I don't know if it's highway patrol or police, and so he had some first aid training, and he knew
Yeah.
that he had
Yeah.
done something in there, and so he stuck his thumb inside his neck and
Wow.
applied the pressure.
That's nuts.
Yeah, pretty
But
crazy.
anyways, yeah. So
Maybe don't put a full case of Trail Boss in the 50 BMG.
Yeah.
Maybe do like a half charge, and like pack it with Dacron. And
Although you're not supposed to mess with like fillers with Trail Boss.
oh, okay, don't do that then.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to compress it. But according to, the powder instructions, the max load is loading it up to the base of the bullet. And then the starting load is, I think you take 10% out. So
Well.
it's quite the interesting powder because it's these little donuts of joy.
And I've never used Trail Boss.
Oh, really?
All the revolvers that I shoot, I've never used it. I've got several pounds of it at the shop, but I've never actually loaded anything with it yet.
Yeah, if you do suppressed shooting, Trail Boss is like your friend.
Nice.
I buy the big jugs of Trail Boss.
So it's like a pound and a half
Yeah.
in the big jug.
Yeah, they aren't actually like, 8-pound jugs or like 1-pound jugs.
Yeah.
It's,
It's ounces.
ounces in this
Yeah.
1-pound size.
Interesting.
It seems to be a very fluffy powder.
Yep, it is.
Cool.
But anyways,
Well, shall I go with what I did with guns? Are you,
Well, sure.
Are you done, Gene?
For now.
Okay. Gene and I could go on for days about what we've messed with guns every week, but
Well, and the thing with me is I see so many, I really don't get that excited about some guns.
right.
Some guns I do.
Sure.
When I bought this double, I actually bought 2 A5 Brownings,
Okay.
and there's a little 20 gauge in the mix, and I love that little 20 gauge A5. It is such a fun little gun. But other than that, I don't have anything too exciting, I don't think.
Yeah.
do you rotate through guns
Yeah.
often? Kind of
Like
like,
socks.
Jason?
Yeah. Yeah.
Lately, I've been getting things that I really like, and I've been holding on to them a lot longer. So I've got a really large safe, and it is full of just my guns. Like, my wife has a very small corner in the back of it that she has her little pile of guns, and the rest are all mine, and it's full. So I haven't really gone through a lot of guns the last couple of years. I've been just getting ones I like and keeping them.
Nice.
I always like when Gene brings guns because they're things I have my own set of style of guns that are
You've
odd
got
guns.
some oddball, unique stuff
You've
for
got
sure.
some cool ones for
But-
sure. Yeah.
Gene has stuff that I would never know exists.
Like a double-barreled rifle.
Well, I almost bought a double barrel 4570 and I just
Ooh.
kick myself for not doing it.
You should have.
I should have.
Was it an over/under or side
No,
by
it's
side?
side by side.
Which one was it?
I can't remember. They had
Remember
one at
how-
Gunny's
Why
like a couple years
wouldn't you?
back.
That sounds
probably a
perfect
Sabati.
for you.
It was expensive.
What was it, like $3,000?
$2,000.
$2,000. Okay, that's either the Sabati or the Pedersoli. One
It
of the
wasn't
two.
a Pedersoli.
Probably the Sabati, and those are really nice guns. Like, they're a good utilitarian double. And
Yeah.
it being 4570, those are a ton of fun.
Ah, I know. I have several guns in 4570. I love that cartridge.
Yeah, I've got one I need to finish. An 86 Browning. That was a barreled action I picked up at a show, and it's slowly getting there. I've started fitting the wood, got some really fancy wood blanks to put on there, and it'll be done in another couple of years maybe.
Just slowly working on it.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's like the cobbler's kids, they're always barefoot.
Yeah.
Yep.
My guns, they eventually get done, but not real fast.
Yeah.
Yep, I know how that goes. So, I actually shot this weekend.
What'd you shoot?
I shot air gun. Well, I didn't shoot as much as everybody else. This was our annual father and son camp out with the church.
Nice.
And so we went up to some private property above Schofield Reservoir, which it was beautiful up there, up in the pines and the aspens, and
Oh, yeah.
lots of room. So we set up to shoot, and I didn't know exactly because the satellite images that he showed me of where we were going, it looked like it was mostly just an open field, and so I'm like, well, I'm not going to bring any powder burners because I want a good backstop. But we got up there, and the meadow where we camped was basically in a little valley. Wasn't very deep, but we had good backstops, so I could have brought some other stuff. But anyway, I brought the 3 air guns that I have, and I brought just paper targets, the groundhog with that changes color when the bullets hit it, the high-vis targets or whatever it's called.
Shoot and see.
Yeah, shoot and see. Yeah. Those are fun.
They are.
The kids like those because they can see where they're hitting and stuff like that better. And then I brought a little steel, kind of a plate rack that I have. It's got like 4 6-inch steel plates on it that just hang down underneath. So they just dangle.
Tings.
Yeah. And I was surprised. I have never shot steel with those air guns. I was really surprised how hard they were hitting the steel.
Yeah, and when you use the slugs, it's like shooting it with the 22.
Yeah, and we were just using regular pellets, 18 grain pellets, I think, or something like that. And I didn't think it would even move the steel, but you knew when you hit it. But so there were about 30 people up there. I can't remember how many kids, but we had kids from like 6, 7 years old up to teenagers, and that bandit, it got a workout. And the coolest thing, so the plate rack was sitting out at about 40 yards, 6-inch targets, and I had 7-year-olds that had never ever shot a gun before regularly hitting steel at 40 yards with that 177 Bandit with a Hollow Sun red dot on it.
Oh, nice.
And the Bandit, that's a pistol.
It's a pistol. It's a PCP pistol.
It's a PCP pistol.
Bolt action with a magazine.
But the difference is that red dot sight on it made it so easy for those kids to shoot it, because they'd pick it up and I'd be like, hey, this is how you do it. And I'd sit we had a picnic table that we were shooting from. So we'd sit down, I'd sit next to them, and it has that great big old grip with the flat bottom on it. So they would just set it on the table and they'd get their eye like 4 inches behind the sight. and I said, see that little red dot? I'm like, yeah, okay, just put that on what you want to hit. Okay, ping! Yeah. And they were so excited when they hear that little ping.
Oh, yeah.
One kid, little guy, he was like, he was looking at the pellets. He's like, could these kill somebody? I'm like, well, yeah, they could. You have to be careful. That's why we're being safe. And we talked about the rules and everything. And he's like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And I'm like, well, it'll be okay. We'll be safe and everything. And his dad was there. And yeah, he was the one that he didn't want to stop shooting. It was hilarious. In fact, the next day at church, we were walking down the hall and he sees me, he stops and he turns around and he looks at me, he's like, that was really fun yesterday. I'm like, good, I'm glad you had fun. But so we shot Friday night, and then Saturday morning after breakfast, we had a whole bunch of empty juice jugs, and so I filled those with water, and I put them anywhere from about 50 to 80 yards out, and those kids were drilling them, especially with the FX. But there were kids hitting 60-yard shots with that Bandit pistol.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive.
I know, because I'm like, you can't just put the dot on what you're aiming.
Yeah,
you have
to put it
to
above.
compensate a little bit. And
it's still a pistol.
Yeah.
Which, those aren't easy to hit at distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's...
Yeah. I was really impressed with them. And we shot probably a 10.5 of 22 and most of a 10 of the 177s. But I just kind of stood behind them, helped them when they needed help, and I just kept airing the guns for them, and they just shot and shot and shot, and it was a good time. They had a lot of fun. So
Did
was
you
cool.
did you just take the one air tank
Yeah.
and it supplied the guns the whole time?
I have never filled it.
What?
I don't shoot it as often as you do, but I seriously, after that trip, I don't think I'm even at half capacity on my big fill tank yet.
Golly.
Well, so the way those tanks work,
Yeah.
once they get down to a certain pressure, then the guns can only fill up to that pressure.
Yeah.
So it's not like you fill it up, to a
Right.
certain number and then you get to
And
use
it-
like
use all of
it.
Yeah. No, and
So-
and I noticed, especially on the FX, it was before it was like you crack it for a couple seconds and it's full. Now it was like crack it, leave it, leave it, leave it. Okay, we're almost there. Oh, okay, now we're there.
Yeah.
So it's probably getting to where I need to fill it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I did. It was a good time. Kids had a blast, and yeah, and introduced the firearms to kids and adults that had never shot before. And the air guns, I'm convinced more and more, is the best way to introduce, especially little kids.
Oh, absolutely.
There's nothing scary about them, and that's some of them were worried it's going to be really loud, and I'm like, it's not going to be loud, it's not going to recoil, it's
Yeah.
So they had a blast. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
Nice.
It's always rewarding when you take people shooting and introduce them into air guns or guns.
Yeah.
And, you never really get to do much shooting when you do that.
Yeah, I think
It's-
I shot 2 mags worth
Yeah.
out of that FX.
Yeah, but it is rewarding, and it's good to expose people to it. They have a good time, have a safe, fun time,
Yeah.
and expose them to that.
Yep. It was
Absolutely.
fun. So, Taco, what do you got?
I'll keep it brief because we're like running out of time already, and it's late at night.
It is late.
So I got an interesting text from Justin at Utah Air Guns.
Okay.
He was asking about 50 cal, the 510
Mm-hmm.
bullets or slugs and he is saying, hey, do you have one that is hard cast? I have a friend or customer or somebody who might try hunting a hippo
Holy moly!
with his 50
wow.
cal. So he needed a hard cast bullet to be able to try and penetrate the skull of a. I think they're going to shoot it
Interesting.
at like 50 yards or something. I don't know any more
I
details
hope there's
other than
somebody
that.
standing behind him
With a big hole.
Yeah. A big powder burner to
Yeah, so-
make sure that thing doesn't turn around and bite him in half.
Yeah, so I went ahead and cast up a couple of different styles of 50 cals just to see. The trick with that is some of the pointier ones and heavier ones, you'd want that extra weight to help with the penetration,
For sure.
especially since you're like subsonic.
Yeah.
Then you gotta have a heavy bullet and make sure you get it in the right spot.
Right.
But bullet twist or the barrel twist is kind of essential because you have to have the right twist. If it's too slow for the longer, pointier bullets, then it's not going to stabilize
Yeah.
properly, and your bullet's just going to be wobbly,
Yeah.
and then you won't be able to make that shot.
It
But
slap that hippo sideways,
and then,
it's gonna
then you're going to have to
miss.
run. But anyways,
Wow.
so I was taking my crown out. We went on a squirrel hunt where I guess the squirrels haven't woken up yet
Yeah.
from their slumber.
They saw you coming.
Something, man. It was.
That guy again.
So we went out by Strawberry, and I guess at the elevation that we were at, you could tell that the Quakies hadn't even gotten their leaves yet.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
So down here at this elevation, everything is hot
Everything's-
and bustling and everything. But up there, it was weird. You'd start driving, and then all of a sudden the trees would have no leaves.
Huh.
Wow.
So we didn't see any squirrels at all. So I shot a butterfly. That yeah.
You hate beauty.
There's,
I hate
I think I wrote a book about that.
But anyways, I came back and I was changing between pellets, and so I was checking zero, and so I shot one and with this different pellet, and I on my paper I zoomed in all the way, and I saw a fly land on my target
Uh-huh.
at 20 yards,
Okay.
and so I blasted the fly.
Nice.
I saw that picture on Instagram.
On
Or
Instagram.
something. Yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah, and so I ran up there to see if I got it because I thought I got it. There's no way I could have missed.
Uh-huh.
and just bug guts on the paper.
Nice.
And that is like, I mean, I know there's air gun guys shooting some crazy tiny groups at longer distances.
Oh, yeah.
But I shot a fly. It was 20 yards.
Nice.
So I was pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was with my Crown. I can't say enough good things about that.
If it was your Hodson, you would have missed.
I would have missed.
Well,
Or it might have gotten lucky, but that Crown, man, it is a tack driver.
Nice.
Love that
I might
gun.
need to get one of those. I missed a mouse at 5 feet in my workshop with my Beeman.
Oh.
The first shot. The second shot I got it, but
You should have you gone to Utah Air Guns?
oh yeah, I've been in there a number of times, and Thaddeus lives just down the street
Oh,
from me.
yeah.
So
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been in there, and
Yeah.
and I keep thinking I was looking at those check-made air rifles.
That
little
would be a
pups.
really good one though.
Those are super sweet.
They
Now here's a
were-
question: would you go with the 177 or would
No.
you go with the 22,
I would probably go with the 22.
or would you go with like a 25 in your shop?
Well, I'd be inclined to go with the 50, just because, but probably the 22 because I've got thousands and thousands of really good 22 pellets.
Okay, yeah.
So
that makes
I've
sense.
played with air rifles over the years. I just don't keep them very long or shoot them very much, if at all.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I'll take it out when I first get it, shoot it. Oh, that's cool.
Do you know what you need? If you want something for mice in your shop, you need one of those Diana Bandit pistols.
That's what I'm thinking.
And put a red dot on it.
They-
The red dot will cost you more than the pistol, but it is worth putting on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will
That-
say the only problem is they're like always sold out of those.
I
things.
know.
They'll get a shipment in, and as fast as they get it in, they sell it
It's because they're like $180.
and they're
Oh, that's
accurate.
it.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
awesome little guns.
It's like $200 out the door,
Yeah.
and they're accurate and they're fun.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And that little red dot makes a world of difference and just the fun you have shooting it.
Yeah. Well, I don't get many mice in there. It's
Yeah.
just the occasional one.
Well, with all the dogs and the cats you got, I'm surprised you have any.
And the chickens. The chickens are actually the best mousers.
Really?
will the
Yeah.
chickens eat mice?
Oh, absolutely.
Chickens will
It's
eat
disturbing.
anything.
Oh, jeez, I got it.
When children come over, the chickens are eyeballing them, going, "Yep, I think I can eat that."
I think I could take that one. That one's small enough.
Yeah, we. So when we first bought our house, the previous owners had done. They did flooring, and they had put carpet throughout the yard. I have no idea why.
Weird.
Carpet in the yard?
In the yard,
Like shag carpet?
yeah, like carpet. You know, like
That's so
household
weird.
carpet. It is very weird. We didn't notice it when we bought the place, but after we'd been out there for a while, it's like there's a lot of carpet here in places that shouldn't be. And so we started pulling it up, and around the shop they had a lot of carpet. I don't know if they were trying to keep the weeds from coming up or they're just
Okay.
weird. I don't know.
Maybe they owned a carpet store and it was a cheap ground cover.
Well, they did flooring, so they were doing
Okay.
carpet
Yeah.
installs. Maybe
Okay.
they didn't want to pay to dump it. I don't know.
That's weird.
Weird, very weird. We were pulling the carpet up, and there was a nest of mice in there. Like we're talking 20 mice. We had the dogs with us, and the dogs were when all these mice start running. The dogs kind of freaked out, like they're trying to jump up on a countertop and get away from them. And the chickens were all like, "No, stand back. We got this." This one, she had her crop was so full of mice, it was like my fist. And she
Oh
was
my
she was
gosh.
clucking like purring. She was so happy. It
That's
was I was so
crazy.
proud of my chickens, but it was also the most disturbing thing I've ever seen.
Do you have some extra stout eggs come out?
They actually had some really good color for like a week after. Like they were really good looking eggs.
Extra protein.
It was wild. But yeah,
I
if you,
would have never thought. That's funny.
yeah, if you have chickens, you don't have problems with bugs, spiders,
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
And the mice even you just don't see them. But,
Henry caught a mouse in my shop at the house
no kidding.
when he was a pup. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's pretty impressed.
That's good.
Yeah.
Haven't done it since, but I don't have
Well,
too
that you
many
know of.
either.
That you know.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
You know, because they get to a certain age and they're just like, yeah, I'm not going to play with this. I'm just going to eat it.
Yeah.
It's a snack.
Well, in the size of his mouth.
He might swallow it without realizing it.
You might inhale it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So I was gonna say one last thing.
Yeah.
Have you guys noticed, or do you guys get like emails from like Palmetto and stuff for their daily deals?
I
and
don't
stuff?
get the ones from Palmetto.
They ARs are cheap again.
They are.
I fell for a trap, and I'm sure it was one of their quote unquote blemished ones.
Yeah.
That's what they advertise, but I
Yeah.
think sometimes they just want to sell
They
a
just
bunch
want
more.
to dump some stuff.
Because I've bought blemished ones and I've not even I can't find any
anything.
blemishes on them.
So when they have blemished ones and they don't actually have blemished ones, they just have the intern hit them with a Sharpie.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see it. It's just it's blemished, but it's not really.
Yeah. No, so I got one of their just plain Jane AR-15 kits,
Okay.
but it doesn't have a lower, so it doesn't
So
count.
it doesn't count towards your gun?
Yes, and I
count?
have a lower that I can throw on it.
Sure.
Oh, nice.
But it's just, yeah, plain Jane. It has the A2 front sight and plastic handguards. But I was going to take that, and I think I'm going to put I have an A2 upper, like the carry handle upper, and so I'll have like just iron sights.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
And then keep it simple like that, plastic handguards. I think that would be
Kind of
really-
an old school build.
Yeah, I mean
Cool.
it's not really an M4, but
Are you gonna put
it's
a
good enough.
fixed stock on it?
I've thought about that, but I think I'm going to keep this ugly stock, the standard
Yeah.
mil-spec stock, because it collapses. And I think this is going to be like a trunk/truck gun,
Okay.
one that you can just throw in a vehicle.
The
And
16-inch barrel?
yep.
Okay.
Nice.
So
Cool.
I picked up that. And
How
it's
much was it?
$350.
Nice.
Jeez.
Yeah. So it came with everything except the strip lower.
Wow.
Including a lower parts kit?
Yes.
Wow.
Everything.
Bolt
except
carriers.
Everything. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a killer deal.
That is
So,
a killer
I mean,
deal.
if
That's
bolt
a good deal before things went nuts.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. So for $350, I was like,
And you can still get a lower for 70, 80 bucks.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, you
That would
can.
put me over.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
The
But
rest
those of
us,
us,
can.
yeah.
Yeah, and they had some lowers on Palmetto for like I think it was 79, so
Yeah.
like $80. But you can
Which
get
is
them
still
locally.
too much, but
You
not-
can get them locally
not
cheaper
crazy.
than that. I
Oh,
believe.
absolutely. Yeah, you can
So-
get the arrows for, I've seen them for 70 recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually
And-
Gunny's has Andersons for like
Yeah.
$60,
Yeah.
$65.
That's just crazy.
So, anyways, I think, oh, I was going to say, I thought it was a wise choice, seeing as we could potentially run out of AR-15s once California starts,
Yeah.
Californians buy them.
Oh,
Yeah, that one judge who what was it? He threw down that 30-round magazine ban or whatever before
oh yeah.
during their Freedom Week is what they
Yeah,
call
In
it.
California.
Yep,
I
yep.
haven't heard any of
So there's a
this.
California judge, and he said AR-15s are,
They're basically Swiss Army knives.
yeah,
And you
it's
can't
a tool.
you can't discriminate against them, basically.
Yeah.
So,
There's more people that have AR-15s in the country than F-150s, so
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
so
true.
hopefully it
And
stands.
yeah,
and
hopefully
more
it
people are
stands.
being killed by F-150s than AR-15s.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Fords kill more people every day than guns
It's true.
by a long shot.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, we will see what happens with that if it
Where
stands or
what part is he?
He's in Southern California.
That's even more surprising.
It was very surprising.
But is he? What level of judge is this guy?
He's a district court
Okay.
for
I
the
can't
Southern
remember
District of
what.
California.
The only thing that concerns me is when you get into states like California and they pass laws or change things or whatever, it like affects a little county as opposed to the whole state, and it just makes it so it's
So
even
that
more
one-
difficult to follow the local laws and everything.
And I'm not an expert on law, and definitely not California law. That's a completely different country. But
Lawyers
my
in
understanding
California
is
aren't
it
even experts.
no, but my understanding is it applies to the whole state of
Okay.
California.
Yeah.
So I believe he's a federal district judge.
Okay.
So what's interesting is there are all these Californians who have these like 30 round mags that they bought during Freedom Week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
But
And they're not marked, and so if you get caught with one, it's on law enforcement to prove that it isn't a legal magazine bought during Freedom Week.
Oh.
yeah.
So
it's so weird.
it's-
It's so dumb. The whole thing is so dumb.
Wow.
But yeah.
So if you're a conservative gun owner, just leave California.
Yeah.
I don't know. They might be getting better.
They might be getting
They're
better,
not.
but realistically, come to Utah,
Yeah.
Idaho.
No, don't come to Utah. We already got too many.
Yeah, we don't have water.
Yeah, we
Oh, yeah,
don't
good
have-
This
point.
year we
Good
don't.
point. Yeah, don't come here.
go to Idaho.
Idaho. Yeah.
Idaho is blowing up big time.
It
Oh,
is.
it is. My son
I've-
just moved up there, and the real estate market is very much like it is here.
It's not
they were thinking
quite
they
as
were going to buy
expensive.
something, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to have to wait."
Yeah, it's not quite as fast as it is here in Utah.
Yeah.
So along the Wasatch Front, Utah and Salt Lake counties, stuff is selling as soon as it hits the market.
Yeah, it's
Within
really
days.
it's really weird because people get cash offers over their asking price.
Yeah. Regularly.
Yes.
Like 20 to 25% over asking is the average right now.
Yeah.
And
It's-
it's selling in days or hours, depending
Yeah.
on the house.
Yeah.
yeah, it's bizarre.
Idaho, it's a little slower. Like you might have a couple of days
Yeah.
before it sells, and I don't know about the
It depends on what part of Idaho.
yeah.
But yeah.
The pretty parts are selling very fast. The ugly parts not as quick.
Yeah.
But
If I moved to Idaho, I'd move to an ugly part.
Not me.
I'd want the pretty part with lots of
couldn't-
water
I couldn't live in
and trees.
like Boise.
Ugh.
Well, I wouldn't want to live in Boise.
Oh,
Nobody
that's
wants
the
to live
ugly
in
part. You
Boise.
said you'd move to the ugly part.
Well, there's parts are like on the outskirts of Boise where you got flat, ugly areas, which would make great shooting ranges.
And if you get in those areas with all the lava tubes, you'd have your own little shooting tunnels and everything. Yeah, it could be useful.
You have to
Yeah.
wear double the ear protection.
Well, he's going to be
Shooting in a
shooting air
tube.
guns, and he's suppressed, so he's
Okay, you're fine.
he's fine.
Yeah.
He doesn't even own hearing protection.
Idaho's got some awesome country, but it also has some really ugly. I guess
Yeah.
Utah's the same.
Yeah,
thing,
it's-
though.
Utah is you have the pretty parts that people see in the magazines, and you have the rest of it.
Yeah.
So,
And-
Gene, you said I don't even own hearing protection, but
I'm kidding.
I own very expensive hearing protection.
Good.
I put my hearing protection, I screw it onto each muzzle of each gun, and it cost me like $200 tax, you know,
For the privilege.
for the
to use
privilege
it.
of using that hearing protection.
Yeah, I have one, and I love it. I've got a little 22 suppressor,
Okay.
and I've just picked up a CZ 22 Magnum, one of the 520. Is it five? No, 450.
457.
457.
Yeah.
The Varminter.
Nice.
So it's got the big heavy barrel.
Those are nice.
Beautiful gun. Got it from a dealer in Colorado. Did a trade. He kind of cried when we got done, and I was very, very happy. But I love this gun. Threaded it, put the suppressor on it, and it is a hoot.
Nice.
Yeah, I have one of those 457s in 17 HMR.
Uh-huh.
So it's probably really similar to the one you got, just a
Yeah.
little bit different. And then I have one in 22 long rifle.
Oh, cool.
And those, they're great shooters, man. CZ makes good barrels and good guns.
They make
They
good
do.
stuff for sure.
I now have 3 of them.
Nice.
They're good.
I don't think I have. Oh no, I do. I was gonna say I don't think I've ever owned a CZ, but I had that that I sold to you before I shot it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you've never shot a CZ?
I have.
Oh, okay.
My son, I gave him a P10C. I've shot that, and
See.
the next time I'm in the shop and I have credit, and there's a P10C, I will take it home with me.
Oh, there you go.
I do prefer that model over the F.
Yeah.
The compacts, mid compacts.
Small guns are useful.
Yeah.
And big ones shoot so nice.
They do. They really do. But for whatever reason, I just have a hard time hanging on to larger handguns. They don't serve a purpose for me as much as other things do. So
Yeah, they have their own set of challenges.
yeah,
You know, big guns are harder to carry.
yeah.
You know,
My 226. That's I've held on to that longer than I have any other full size pistol, and that's got a little bit of sentimental value to it, and so it probably won't ever go away.
226. I was gonna say that's the model of like handgun that I actually don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can understand why people wouldn't. I do.
the grip sits way below
It is. Yep.
the bore axis.
On a lot
Yeah.
of the
Yep.
SIGs, the 226, 229s,
Yeah.
even the
320.
320 is that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
But that CZ
But this
P10F, man, I put my hand
Yep.
all the way up there. I feel like my thumb is like almost.
Yeah.
I mean, it's parallel with the barrel, but it's like almost touching the barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It handles the recoil so well.
Yep, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
But the 226, it was a police buyback, and when I researched it, I found out that it was manufactured the year I graduated from high school. I'm like, okay, that's cool. It's stamped made in West Germany.
Oh, that's an early one.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
that's cool.
So I mean, you got to keep it if that's
And
like.
I put the E2 grip on it. I put the short reset trigger in it, and all that kind of stuff. And the slide's Teflon coated, and so it's like, it's
And it's a very
cool.
classic gun.
Yeah,
You know,
Mhm.
it's like the Beretta 92.
yeah,
Nobody likes those. And
Yeah.
if you do, I'm sorry, but nobody likes
I actually like mine. For some reason, I shoot it really well.
And some people do.
They're good
It's-
shooting
And
guns.
I have big hands, and so those big fatty grips of the
Yeah.
92, it just feels good.
Yeah.
And I have decent. Your hands are bigger than mine, but
Yeah, I got long fingers and stuff.
but the 92 has never felt good to me.
Yeah, me neither.
The 226 with the right grips, it feels okay, but it's
Yeah.
still that
Right.
bore axis is so high.
Yeah.
You know, you shoot it a couple of times and it feels like you're shooting a 45 almost.
Yeah, there's some
And,
truth to that.
You know, but these classic guns, they're classics for a reason.
Right.
And sometimes it's good to keep those classics around and shoot them and enjoy them. And
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever sell my 92
Yeah.
just because.
I did put my 226 on Utah Gun Exchange a couple years ago, and with a strong price because I was like, do I really want to sell this? and I got this guy contacted me who really wanted it, and he was kind of like the same boat I am. I really want this, but let's work out a trade or something because I don't have cash. And I'm like, well, what do you got? And we were going back and forth. He had a what's the World War II rifle?
Which
M1
rifle?
Garand?
Yeah, he had
Okay.
an M1 Garand.
The World War II rifle? I'm like,
No.
okay, which one are you talking about? There were quite a few rifles, and there's a lot of cool
the
ones.
There's
American.
one, and then there's the others.
Exactly.
So,
Anyway, he had one of those that was in really nice shape, but both of us were like, neither of us really wanted to part with what we had, so we were like, mine's worth more than yours. No, mine. And we got really close a couple of times, and we both just kind of went, yeah, we're just going to keep our stuff.
I think I did a similar thing once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
And I don't regret
me want to keep my gun more
Yeah.
when I started.
sometimes it's good to do that.
Yeah.
I actually traded off my other named gun, my other Kimber, whose name is Kimber Lee. And it's the only time I've ever cried after trading off a gun. And my wife says, she came in the house and she's like, did you just trade off your 1911? I was like, yes, I did. And I was thinking that gun was gone. Because I'm one of those that once I've done a deal, the deal's done. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go back and beg for that gun back.
Right.
It's gone. It's history.
Yeah.
She called up my friend and said, hey, I don't know why he traded that gun to you. It's his favorite gun. I'd like to buy it. And she bought it for me, and I have it. It's never leaving again.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
sometimes you have to almost lose the gun or lose it.
Did she have to pay a higher price?
So we figured it at $800 in trade, and she bought it for $800. This friend, he's an awesome friend. And if I had gone back to him and said, "Look, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. That's like a child to me. Can I trade you like one of the neighbor's kids instead?" You know, but he would have definitely have sold it back to me. But it's one of those things I just don't do that.
Yeah.
But she went back and bought it, and
That's a good woman right there.
she is. She's a good woman. She puts up with me, and that's a hard thing to do. But and it's still my best shooting 45.
Nice.
Yeah, when you get a good one, you can't give it up. I have a CZ 97.
Oh, nice.
It's the 45.
I always
all-metal.
wanted one of those.
I will never get rid of that gun.
I've
Nice.
stopped
It
saying
is-
that.
Oh,
I'll never get rid of this one.
Anytime I say never, I'll never do that. I'll never get rid of this. I'll never buy that. Every single time I do it.
Yep.
yeah.
Every time I've done that, now that I've said that about this 500, I guarantee in a week somebody's going to call me up and be like, "Hey, I heard you have this double rifle. I'd like to buy it from you."
You say it's worth 10 grand, I'll give you 20.
And I'm going to say, "Well, do you want the brass with it?"
Nice. All right, let's wrap it up. That was fun, guys. Good conversation.
Yeah, thanks, Gene, for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
It was my pleasure. It's always a privilege to be here with you guys.
We've had a sparse cast lately. It's been tough to get everyone together.
Everybody's
but
so busy.
yeah,
It's even been hard to get us.
the two of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took 3 days of, we're going to do it today at this time, then we can't. We're going to do it tomorrow at this time, then we can't. We'll do it the next day at this time. And yeah. And Taco still tried to get out of it.
Only slightly. Only slightly.
Do you really want me to come? Yes.
All right, guys. Until next time, stay safe, have fun.
Be nice and take someone's shoe.
Absolutely.
I don't sit still well. At all.
I know you and Stan, man. You guys are the worst at that stuff.
You
like
know
two
what?
little kids, like flipping things.
I struggled through like
Do we need to get-
school and everything because I just can't sit still. I don't have ADD. I just
Is that what the honey is really for?
Stick him.
Put some in his hands, give him some feathers, you know.
I just don't. Yeah, it's a good thing that I don't sit behind a desk all day.